returning Stinkies. I hope you guys are doing great today. If you are new, hello, I'm Kruzadar. I'm a variety creator here on YouTube, and today we are doing a sponsored video with AMD, and we're gonna rebuild my gaming PC, which is gonna be kind of insane, but I'm quite excited, so shout out to AMD for sponsoring this video. If you don't know, they have a new CPU that is currently out that is built and catered towards more gaming and content creation, and it's pretty insane on the specs. So we're gonna do a little bit of a comparison compared to what I have right now in my setup. We're gonna do a comparison in just a second, but again, I wanna shout out AMD, so there will be links down below in the description if you're interested and you would like to purchase this lovely little bad boy right here, which, holy cow, this guy packs a punch. It's kind of insane, the specs on this, so I'm really excited to put it in my computer. And also, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to AMD. Originally, we kind of had some hiccups because this is not gonna work with the motherboard that I currently have in my computer. So thank you, AMD. They did send me a new motherboard and RAM and stuff that would be compliant with this. Not compliant, but compatible with the build. So thank you guys as well for sending those products. I really appreciate it. They didn't have to do that. It could have, and all that, so thank you. My current build has actually an AMD Ryzen in it. The current one that I am running in my setup is the AMD Ryzen 9, the 5900X, which is a 12-core processor and 3.7 gigahertz. And this new bad boy right here, its specs are for the AMD Ryzen 9. It's the 9950X3D. It's being marketed here as the gaming and content creation processor. It's insane. It's a 16-core CPU. It's got second-gen AMD 3D V-Cache tech in it, and the gigahertz, so its base clock is at 4.3 gigahertz. My current one is at 3.7, so it's gonna be a little bit zippier, and I'm quite excited for it. So then again, thank you, AMD. This video is sponsored by AMD, and we're gonna get into it. Before we get into it, I know some of you are new or don't know my whole tech background, so I'll kind of do that real quick with you guys. And if this is something that will also be maybe a nice little learning video for you too, I'm gonna go over some quick tools that I recommend when you're going to adjust some things in your computer, or if you are potentially building for your first time. This is I'll try and give you some useful tips kind of as we go, because I can't tell you how many computers I've rebuilt at this point. I've rebuilt this computer 2 times since I've had it, which originally this computer was a pre-built because I've built so many at this point that and I know how to modify them that I just don't really care too much anymore. I'm not sure if this thing comes with thermal paste, but just kind of a crash course if you're ever building a PC or if you intend to change things at any point. Have thermal paste on hand. I can't tell you the amount of times I'm like, oh, I'm gonna upgrade something or I need to fix it, and I can't find my thermal paste. So there's a couple things I'm gonna recommend here. Also, if you are gonna ever replace a CPU, you need isopropyl alcohol and cotton pads. Okay, so the isopropyl alcohol, if you're putting a new CPU in, the AMD's is different than some other CPUs that are out there. And it's set up a little bit differently. It's a lot easier, in my opinion, to put the AMD CPU into the motherboard. It's a lot less gluing and stuff that you have to do, with a lot less thermal paste and stuff that has to get used. So anyways, but that said, I have a fan that attaches directly on top of it after it's put in. Some people don't do the exact setup that I have, so it just kind of depends on how you're doing your setup and stuff, where your thermal paste is going to have to go. You're going to have to use it somewhere, most likely, anyways. So, but yeah, you need isopropyl alcohol. I just get the good old Great Value brand from Walmart, little Wally World. It's 91%. And you're gonna obviously want some Q-tips. You could use Q-tips if you want for more specific cleanup, but I just use a cotton pad. Something else I really recommend, you can use normal, if you have a hefty duty tool belt already, you probably just won't really need this, but I do recommend it if you're going to work on any tech. It just makes things so much easier. And I actually don't remember the name of this brand, but it comes with a lot of really useful tools if you work on tech, whether it be scraping, moving things like blades. And it also, I keep my thermal paste in here so I don't lose it. So we'll see that that's in there. And it's also got this, which makes building and rebuilding so much easier. And it has an extendo piece. So you'll see kind of when I'll be using this when I work on the motherboard today. You can find it. I'm pretty certain you can just look up like tech screwdrivers or computer screwdrivers, and there'll be a bunch of different options pop up for you, not just this one. But it comes with this whole thing. Makes things so much easier, especially with unscrewing and rescrewing a motherboard, because sometimes it's just super tiny and in there. So we'll be using that. Those are your most important things, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the big light on, and I'm gonna start building this bad boy. Here we go! Also, while we're here, I'm going to clean out my computer because it is so freaking dusty, it's insane. But yeah, isn't this neat? I'm sure they won't mind if I mention it, but originally this was pre-built from Power GPU, and they made my custom case and everything. I would clean out anything you can as you take it out. Ideally, again, you want to blow this out outside. Look at all that dust. Oh my God, hold on, I'm gonna... Do you see that? Do you see that line? I just... Now I need to move this because look at all that freaking dust I got. Yours should not look like that. Guys, don't ever let it get this bad. This is a big no-no. I need to take out my graphics card. Your graphics card is really the last thing you generally put into your computer outside of cables and stuff that you're plugging in after. So, because it just takes up the most space. So I'm gonna take that out now. This is honestly the most annoying part. And then bada bing, bada boom. Now, normally you wanna make sure it's screwed in. Mine wasn't screwed in properly, like it should have been. Next thing to do is you want to continue to take out any of your other PCIe items. Again, this is if you're fully rebuilding. And if you haven't built a computer before, you're going to be like, this is so aggressive. And you're like, she's manhandling that computer. When you've done this enough times, it's just adult Legos. You want to take a picture of where your cables are and everything right now, okay? Yeah, that's more or less it. Now, the reason you want to do that, and again, it's after you take your graphics card and stuff out, is while you might have a different motherboard and you still want to read the manual, I want to make that clear. So if you take your pictures, it helps you keep your cables organized and you know what you're potentially missing for unhooking things. I'm taking my cooler off now. And again, you want to try and keep screws together. Now, this one's actually okay, well, we'll just take my RAM out next. So normally these are like your fans. So I think it might just be tucked in underneath and attached to one of these. Because this cable, yeah, see, this is just one of them right here. I don't think it's this one. This one's to a different one. Let's go ahead and take the motherboard out. Well, I gotta unplug the rest of the stuff first. So there's a little quarter nickel-sized item here on your motherboard. Now, if you have a mini motherboard, it's your CMOS. So what your CMOS does, and this is a good learning thing for you guys as well, if you ever need to hard refresh your computer, sometimes a reset or sometimes reseating your RAM doesn't fix some issues, like if you're having locks with it, or say you put a new graphics card in, sometimes it locks your motherboard up. And anyways, things like that, sometimes you need to reseat the CMOS. The CMOS is what holds all your current cache data. So your CMOS is the reason when you go to like log back in on your computer, it stores your like web pages and such. So like, that's just one of the examples. Obviously there's a bunch of other shit it does, but I'm just gonna try in more layman's terms that I can kind of explain it, is that's the reason you're able to load things back up. It does store temporary data on there. Yeah, this little guy right here is your CMOS. And it's super easy to take out. You just pop it out. And now when you do take it out, you need to let it sit out for 10 minutes, I believe is the recommendation generally, around 10 minutes. If you do it earlier than that, you will run into issues because it won't give it the full chance to clear. Oh, and before you take your motherboard out, if you have an M.2, you'll want to take that out as well. Your M.2 is generally above your CMOS and by your CPU. Now, again, every motherboard looks a little bit different, but it's under here, this like big cooling strip. And it's got sticky thermal paste with it. So it's this little bad boy right here, and you sometimes have another one. So if I were to put another M.2 in, it would go in here. It looks very similar. So generally your top one gets covered by your graphics card. So take that as you will, and then you're just gonna pop it off. It's gonna seem like a little tough, and again, that's because this is essentially a thermal paste strip. And then right underneath, you're gonna have your M.2, and this is generally what it looks like. Mine is, I think, yeah, it's 2 terabytes. I know they do way bigger ones now, but yeah, it'll be under there. And then you just undo the screw, and then it'll pop up, and then you pull it out of this guy. So I'm gonna unscrew it and then pull. And this one's really easy because it just has a little release on it. And then, boop, bada bing, bada boom, super easy. I'm telling you guys, it's just adult Legos. And now we can move that Here you go. There is your spine to your computer. If AMD allows me, I will put my PC part picker list down below for what I'm keeping, if you are interested. But this fan setup is very, very nice. It having the plate setup that it does makes it just a lot easier putting it in and then taking it out. Shoo-wee, it's a good looking motherboard. Wow, this looks clean. I mean, my old motherboard looks clean too, but it's not just new tech parts, dude. Oh, look at that bad boy. Let's put this bad boy in. Oh, and if the CMOS is at the bottom, I have to take the graphics card out. Whoever designed this motherboard, I love you. Okay, I know you guys just hooked me up for the CPU, but y'all got me giddy. So then for AMD CPUs, what you do is you pop this out, you do this, and then you lift the lid up, oop, and that's where your CPU is gonna go. Super easy, and then you'll do the same process to put it down, boop, and then flip. Oh, it looks different then. My other one. The top looks so different, what the heck? So this is the old version from, I guess, a few years ago at this point. This is the new one. So weird. And then you just line it up with the corner. You line it up with that corner, and you just line it up, and it should just like slightly feel like it locks in or drops. There's not a big drop, it's very subtle. And then you drop it, and you push down, break it. What's going on with this top though? Oh, the top piece needed to come off. Silly me, that's what I was forgetting. Okay. So then you do that, you push it down. That's why it was being weird. Yeah, makes more sense. Okay, silly me. All right, and then it's gonna feel tough, but that's what's keeping it locked in. Next, so this is where things get finicky. Each motherboard is different. Go to do the RAM, you wanna make sure you put it in your 1 and your 3 slot. Some motherboards recommend your 2 and your 4. You don't wanna ever put your RAM right by one another. The only time you do that is if you're filling all 4 slots. Let's do the fan. This is where our thermal paste happens. So when you put your fan onto your CPU, you need to only do a pea-sized amount. And again, you can always redo it if you need to. Come on, new guy. Come on. There we go. Now that this is all dried off, I'm just gonna drop it straight down. And we're just gonna put our brackets down. Now, I like to do diagonal when I first put it on, so then I can kind of go hands-free and do the rest of it versus the side and worry about it distributing evenly, but that will make sure it's distributed evenly. Now, before I put my RAM in, I'm going to cable this bad boy up. All right, so since our last jump cut, I had to have Taylor come down here and help me. I know my mic cut out for part of it. We really only have to do, what's left is RAM and RAM and my graphics card. So that should be it. Now we pray for me.
3 minutes. This is like my stream PC. This is insane. Here we go. My game's not lagging! Okay, I'm a very bad Doctor Strange. But hey, it was working! I had no lag! Let's see how the camera raw function and rendering goes on this. Instantly, dude. Instantly after all of that. Oh my gosh. Wow. That was insane. Okay. Okay, this CPU's not playing around. Shout out to AMD. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. Check the links down below. If you're curious, the CPU should be available now. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you. Thank you. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Hey, it's me again. I'm just here stopping by to remind you to make sure you join the Discord so you can get YouTube video notifications and all that good stuff for when I do merch drops and all that shit.